everybody. Welcome to the family service. I don't know if we'll have any young kids here today, but I like to start the family service with Bim Bam. Probably the highlight of my week is Friday mornings with the preschool, kids 1 to 5, singing along all the Shabbat songs. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, chitty bitty bitty bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, chitty bitty bitty bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Again, welcome to those who are just joining us from home and also here in the sanctuary. We're using the blue regular Mishkan Tefillah. They're on the table over there. As we're switching off just for one day during the high holidays. So welcome for coming to the Shabbat Shuvah, the intermediate Shabbat. There's always a Shabbat when you have 10 days of repentance. There's always a Saturday in between. So, I think this would be a great time to light the candles. If we could have our young people come up and light the candles. And the blessing is on page 2 in our Siddur. So there's matches over there. You know the drill. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Great job. And by the way, guys, I loved your leadership at the Rosh Hashanah services upstairs. That was great. It was awesome. So, well, let's take a moment to welcome each other, welcome visitors and each other who are in the room, as well as at home. Just say hello and shake hands, but take a minute to do that. Well, welcome everyone. We go to page 10, where there's some wonderful songs, and I love the Hinei Matov, because this is a blessing we could use anytime. What a blessing it is to have brothers and sisters sitting together here in peace. Hinei Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Nei matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov, hinei matov, ya la 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 la. Hinei matov, hinei matov, ya la 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 la. Hinei matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. And now we turn to page 20 for Lecha Dodi. And please rise. And Lecha Dodi is where we are welcoming Shabbat, welcoming the Sabbath bride into our midst. Lecha, it's a little lower for people. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi lekrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. We're using the blue books on the table. I'm going to grab a blue book on the table. Shahamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shemot v'eret v'helihila. Lecha Dodi Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Second verse. Likrat Shabbat lehechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor habracha, Mehirosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshav tila. Lecha Dodi, page 20. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Top of 21. Hitoreri, hitoreri, tiva ore, kumi ori, 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 shidaberi, kevod Adonai alai. Lecha Dodi Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. And for verse 9, on the bottom of the page, we turn towards the door, welcoming Shabbat into the sanctuary. Bahoi v'shalom ahateret ba'ala, gam besimcha u'betzala, toch emunei am segula, bo'ichala, bo'ichala. Back to the front. Lecha Dodi Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. You may be seated. And now that Shabbat is present, now we welcome Shabbat, we've welcomed each other, we've lit the candles. There's only one thing left to do, is let in the dinosaur at the door. This is for the younger members of our congregation. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she's knocking 1, 2, 3. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she wants to spend Shabbat with me. First she lights the candles, then she drinks the wine, then she eats and we'll have a real good time. 'Cause there's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she's knocking 1, 2, 3. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she wants to spend Shabbat with me. First she eats the candles. No? Oh, first she lights the candle, then she lights the wine. No. Drinks it, and then she drinks the challah. Oh. You guys are good. And we'll have a real good time, 'cause there's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she's knocking 1, 2, 3. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she wants to spend Shabbat with me. She wants to spend Shabbat with me. She wants to spend Shabbat with me. Good job, everybody. So some of you are new to the dinosaur song today, and those folks at home. It's very important in our liturgy today to always include a dinosaur. Okay, so let's move on to page 24, where we're going to welcome the Shabbat angels. You know, we always have angels all the time on our shoulders. You know, good one and a bad one. No, there's always angels watching out for us. And at Shabbat, you get 2 extra angels accompanying you home, because on St. Michael's and St. Francis, you need that extra couple of angels. So watch out for. I was on my bicycle today in the right lane on St. Francis, and it was a bicycle lane. 2 people were using it to pass other cars. So watch out. So you need those extra angels. And Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachem l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And now we turn to page 27 in our regular Mishkan Tefillah. We turn to page 27, and let's read together the center 2 paragraphs on the left-hand side of the page. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew our days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. You know, as we had our service today in the meditation garden, the leaves are falling off the trees on us as we were praying today. It's a shame to see all this weather change a little bit, because we've been here all 3.5 months. It's been nothing but gorgeous. So, and after bicycling at 75 degrees out, it's going to be hard to see the change in weather coming. Okay, so let's turn now to Chatzi Kaddish on page 26. In the Chatzi Kaddish, again, this is not the mourner's Kaddish, which we say at the end. The Chatzi Kaddish is kind of a semicolon in between sections of the service. Yitkada ve'yitkada shemei Rava ve'alma divrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei ve'chayeichon uvyomeichon uvchayedecho be'Yisrael Bagala bagala uvizman kariv v'meru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach Le'olam olam me'omaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yipa'ar v'romam v'yitnasei V'yithadar V'yitale V'yitalal Shmei Dekudesha Brichu. Now we have 2 le'elas we say for the 10 days of repentance. Leila, Leila, Min kol bechata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran bi'alma v'meru. Amen. We had some more people join us. They said they wanted, I hear that they want one more refrain of Shabbat Shalom. So, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. We now rise for Baruch, the call to prayer, on page 28. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Ya, lie, 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 lie. Ya, lie, 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 lie. Ya, lie, 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 lie. Ya, lie, 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 lie. Ya, lie, 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 lie. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. You may be seated as we turn ahead to page 30. And a reminder for those who joined us at home, we are using the blue Mishkan Tefillah, the regular Shabbat version, in between the high holidays, during the high holidays. So on page 30, let's read together the paragraph at the bottom of the page. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, and thoughtfully alters the time, and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. I love that word, heavenly courses. It's one of the longest words that I teach in Hebrew school. The Mishmerotehem. The Mishmerotehem. It's like kind of supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So, but it's one of my favorite words in the Bible and in the Siddur. You are creator of day and night. You roll light away from darkness and darkness from light. You transform day into night and distinguish one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv, Arahavim. Now we turn to page 32. I love the translation. Everlasting love. Ahavat Olama. Love forever. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael. Amchavta. Torah u'mitzvot. Hukim u'mishpatim. Otanu limahareta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu. B'shochbeinu u'v'kumeinu. Nasiach b'chukecha. V'nishmat b'divrei Toratecha. U'v'mitzvotecha. Le'olam va'ed. ki heim chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem nege yomam v'layla. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. We turn to page 35, where we get the only prayer that gets 2 pages of our Siddur, Shema. And if it's your custom to stand, you may do so. If it's custom to remain seated until later, that's also okay. And I'll do a different melody of the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Let's turn to page 20 to 36, and we'll do that in English. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. By the way, we saw that tonight on the way here on the corner on a big sign at a church on the corner of Galisteo and Barcelona. So everybody's got the same idea, right? You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them on your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you're away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. And then you shall remember to observe all my commandments and be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. Leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim le'Elohechem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Amen. We turn to page 39, and let's read together at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it's eternally Egypt, that there's a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. There's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. You may be seated, albeit for a minute. Page 40, who is like you, O God? Mi chamocha. Mi, we'll do it higher there. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Lo ratei lod, o seifelen. Lo ratei lod, o seifelen. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Malchitecha ra'uvanecha, pokeya yam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'eli anu ve'amru, ze'oni anenu ve'amru, Adonai Loch leolam ba'ed, Adonai Loch leolam ba'ed, Adonai Loch leolam ba'ed, Adonai Loch leolam ba'ed. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai. Now as we come to the prayer, the Amidah, the tefillah, let's go to page 42 and read together at the bottom of the page. This is an evening prayer, and I love this. Let's read together. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace, and guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapore sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. And then we move to page 44, V'shamru. One of the things that's kept the Jewish people together is Shabbat. So we sing V'shamru, the people of Israel shall keep Shabbat. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat l'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat l'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael odi le'olam odi le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat l'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'yet haaretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat l'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat v'nafash, shavat v'nafash, shavat v'nafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat l'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Now we come to our tefillah. Please rise at page 46 as you're able. And those at home as well, we're on page 46 for the tefillah. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agitei latecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. 48. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chazdei Avot v'Imaho U'Mevi Geola Livnei B'neihem V'man Shemo V'Yavah. In the middle part we have Zachrenu L'Chaim for Shabbat Shuvah. Zachrenu L'Chaim Melech HaFeis B'Chaim V'Chodveinu B'Sefer HaChaim V'Mancha Elohim Chaim Melech Ozer Moshiach Magin Baruch atah Adonai Magin Avraham Le'ezrat Sarah. Page 50. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai V'chayei HaKol Atah Rav Ve'oshia Morid Atah Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Somek noflim v'rofei olim. O matir asurim. O mekaye emunato lishenei afar. Michamocha bal gevurot. O mino melach. Melech mimi. O mechaye. O matzliach Yeshua. A little interpolation for Shabbat Shabbat. Bichamocha v'rachamim, zocher tzarav l'chaim v'rachamim, ne'man ata l'chayot hakol, baruch ata Adonai v'chayei hakol. Please take a couple of minutes to say the prayers that are in the book or the prayers that are in your heart, and we'll get back together at the end of the Amidah. When you're done with your prayers, you may be seated. We end the Amidah on page 62 with a prayer for peace. Ohoseh shalom bimroman, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'emu, amen. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. 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 Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. And Rabbi's not here today, so I thought I'd tell a story. Because it's family Shabbat. And it's a story. It doesn't have any dinosaurs in this particular story. There might be one at the end, though, if you're patient. It's called the challahs in the ark, the challah bread in the ark. At the beginning of the 16th century, when the Jews were expelled from Spain, that would be the 15th century, they went all over. From Spain, they went to France, Germany, Salonika, and Greece. Some went to the Holy Land. Some of them went to Mexico and Guatemala. And among them was a man named Jacobi. Jacobi was a shoemaker, a round man with a round face and a round body. Sounds like me. Anyway, he was a shoemaker. He was even a little bow-legged. He was a kind man, but the thing that everybody said about Jacobi was that he was so devout. He really was a very spiritual man. He would go to the synagogue every Shabbat, and he listened carefully to what the rabbi was saying, but that was odd because Jacobi spoke, he was from Spain. What did he speak? Spanish, that's right. He spoke Spanish, and he couldn't understand because the rabbi spoke Hebrew. On one Shabbat, the rabbi gave a sermon, and in the sermon he mentioned how 12 loaves of bread were offered to God when the Holy Temple was still in Jerusalem. Now, Jacobi understood the word bread, and he understood the word God, and he got so excited he ran home to his wife. Esperanza, he said. That's a good New Mexico name for a wife. Esperanza, he said, guess what I found out? God eats bread.
Now you're the best baker in the whole country, Esperanza. Make this week a pan de Dios, a bread for God, and I will bring it to God. That week, his wife Esperanza kneaded in the best ingredients. She put in her best intentions and braided the challah with love. The next week, Jacoby proudly carried his loaves to the synagogue. Señor Dios, God, he said when he entered, I've got your bread. You'll see, you'll love it. My wife Esperanza, she's the best baker in Europe. You'll eat every loaf and every crumb. And with that, he took the bread and put it into the holy ark. No sooner did he leave than in came the shamus, the caretaker of the synagogue. Lord, you know I love to be here in this holy place. That's all I want. But 7 weeks now I've been working and I haven't been paid. I need you to do something. I need a miracle. You should make for me a miracle, God. I believe you're going to. Maybe you've even done it already. I'll go look in the holy ark and I'll see if there's a miracle in there. Well, the caretaker went to the ark and opened it, and there indeed was his miracle. 12 loaves of bread. 2 for Shabbat, 2 for the second day, 2 for the third day, 1 loaf for every day of the week. The next day, when Jacoby and Esperanza opened the ark and saw there was no bread there, you just should have seen the look of love that passed between them. The next week it was the same, and the week after that it was the same. The caretaker learned to have faith in God. But if you hung around the synagogue too much or came to work too early, there was no miracle. And so 30 years of this went by. 30 years later, Jacoby comes to the synagogue with his load of bread. He said, Señor Dios, God, I know your bread's been lumpy lately. Esperanza's got arthritis. Maybe you could do something. You'd eat better. Jacoby put the bread in the ark and he started to leave. And suddenly the rabbi grabbed him. What are you doing? Said the rabbi. I'm bringing God his bread, said Jacoby. God doesn't eat bread. Well, he's been eating Esperanza's bread for 30 years. The rabbi and Jacoby hid to see if they could figure out what was going on. No sooner they hid in the synagogue, in comes the caretaker. He began to mutter, I hate to bring it up, but you know, God, your bread's been lumpy lately. Maybe you could talk with an angel. He reached in to grab the bread. Suddenly the rabbi jumped out and grabbed him, and he began to yell at the 2 men how sinful they were. He ranted on until all 3 men began to cry. Jacoby cried because he only wanted to do good. The rabbi began to cry because all of this resulted because of his sermon. The caretaker began to cry because suddenly he realized he wasn't going to get any more bread. Over the sound of their weeping, the 3 men suddenly heard laughter in the corner. They turned, and they saw the great mystic of Tzfat, Rabbi Isaac Luria. He was shaking his head and laughing. Oh, Rabbi, these men aren't sinful. They're religious. They are spiritual. You should know that God has never had more fun watching what goes on in your synagogue on Shabbat. He sits with his angels, and the angels laugh. I mean, this man brings the bread, and that man takes the bread, and he gets all the credit. You must beg forgiveness of these men, Rabbi. Then he looked at Jacoby, and he said, Jacoby, you must do something even more difficult. You must bring your bread directly to the caretaker, and you must believe with perfect faith that God will just as pleased, and God will have just as much fun as before. Isn't that nice? So it's okay to bring Trader Joe's challah, which is the highest level of holiness that you can get. So as we have the Torah in our midst, this is also a good time, if we turn to page 253, to ask God for help in healing those we know who are ill. We're in the middle of page 253. Misheberach avoteinu mekor habracha le'imahoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. And first, I'll read the list here we have on the bima. Then, as I'll go around the room, naming those who could use a little help and healing. Joyce Weiser, Claire Lichtenstein, Mick Brown, Carl Stoniker, Nora Gluck, Jane Siegel, Ellen Lowenberg, Steve and Sherry Harwitt, Jean Simonoff, Frank Remmert, Carol Rudman, Jane Hochberg, Carlos Villarreal, Gary Polkowitz, Jim Lyons, Leo Garul, Susan and Frank Cernansky, Jim Simmons, Catherine Werner, Adrian Gross, Scott Lewis, Sophie Hochberg-Farrer, Ingrid Gustafson, Jerry Steinberg, Faggy Marks, James Hetherington, Sandra Levine, Martha Ramirez, Cindy Pabst, Ann Laser, Kathy Romero, Maria Romero, Marcia Landry, Carmen Rodriguez, Najeri Nuri Home. Let's go around the room and set out of my hat and mention those who are ill. Sorry? You good? Yes. Amen. And also we ask for blessings for healing for Rabbi Jenny. The second part of the prayer on page 253. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha liavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Our president's not here, so in lieu of president, loco presidentis, I will make the announcement. Torah study is at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's on Zoom only this week. The link for Zoom is on our website. And the topic continues for the high holidays, the shattered paradigm. Rabbi Neal leads a discussion on excerpts from the first three of this year's High Holy Day sermons. Shabbat services will be at a regular time of 10:30 tomorrow morning. Now, for years, TBS has supported those in need and will continue to do so. Many of you picked up grocery bags. Don't raise your hand, I know you did it, from the synagogue. And the goal is to fill a grocery bag or two and help those who need food. The bags are located in the foyer, or foyer as we say in New Jersey. Please bring back filled bags and leave them in the foyer by October 15th. This year the top items are peanut butter. Is that crunchy or creamy? Peanut butter, canned soup, salt and pepper, spices in general, and $25 gift cards to grocery stores. Pasta and canned pasta sauce, no glass bottles, and no expired products, please. That's what they asked for. Remembrance Day event will take place this Sunday, 2 days from now, at 1:30 p.m. in the Jewish section of the Memorial Garden Cemetery on Rodeo Road. The rabbis and cantors from Santa Fe's various synagogues will all participate together, demonstrating the strength and vitality of our Santa Fe Jewish community. And it's wonderful to get together from all the synagogues for this special remembrance. Also on October 6th, later on at 6:30, right here at TBS, we're going to have, join us to mourn and to remember the horrific events of the terror attacks of October 7th. So we'll be meeting here on 6th, I believe it's almost a year, right? It's horrendous. Some people are still in captivity. So 6:30 p.m. here on Sunday, people from PBS, Bet Tikva, and Hamakom will get together to pray for those who died and also pray for those who continue to suffer. So that's the announcements. And if we could rise for Aleinu on page 283, 284, and 287. 283. Please rise. Oh. Top of the page, 283. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tei kedula l'yosef reshit, shehu sam chelkenu l'yachid et shmo, l'oleinu amlik malchuto, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei amlakim hakadosh, Baruch Hu. Turn to page 287. V'ne'emar v'ya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, v'yom hahu yiyeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. You may be seated. As we turn now to remembering those who are no longer with us, the Mourner's Kaddish will be on page 292. We're remembering the Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning for Linda Goldfried, mother of Rabbi Jenny, and Sarah Jane Miller Small, cousin of Brooke Remmert. Yahrzeits are Sumner Lampert, Amneris Neri Levy, Henrietta Luongo, Zale Kessler, Sylvia Besterman, Norman Feldman, Bernice Tucker Zimmerman, Elise Lyon, Ronald Levy, Mildred Mellis, Harriet Johnson, Tigre Mashal Lively, Bernard Greenspoon, Louis Shosterman, Gary Jones, David Golub, Bernice Danzig, Jesse Plitzer, Bernice Newman, and Ruth Greenberg Laventhal. Are we remembering anybody else today? Thank you so much. Okay. Please rise for the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Can start off, the people who are mourning can certainly start off. Yikadal v'yikadash shemer haba. V'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayeichon v'yomeichon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael v'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Together, Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Leolam Ulamei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei. V'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shmei Rekudasha Brichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechemata. Damiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'yimeru. Zichronam livracha, may their memories truly be a blessing. You may be seated. And this weekend, of course, we're also remembering all those who died on October 7th. And since then, we're also praying for those on both sides of the war to be peace and to stop the suffering on all sides of the conflict. Let's do Yedid Nefesh on page 332. And we can end with the dinosaur song if you like. Yedid Nefesh av harachaman, Yedid Nefesh av harachaman, Meshoch avdecha el retzonecha yarutz avdecha mo'ayal yishtachaveh el muhadanecha. So we now move to one more song, which we'll do. Do we have a request from one of the kids? You want the dinosaur song one more time? Okay, I'll do it one more time. This is not, we do have Sunday school though this Sunday, so be there or be square. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she's knocking 1, 2, 3. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she wants to spend Shabbat with me. First she lights the candles, then she drinks the wine, then she eats a challah, and we'll have a real good time, 'cause there's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she's knocking 1, 2, 3. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she wants to spend Shabbat with me. First she burns the challah, then she lights the wine, and she butters the challah, and we'll have a real good time. 'Cause there's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she's knocking 1, 2, 3. There's a dinosaur knocking at my door, and she wants to spend Shabbat with me. She wants to spend Shabbat with me. She wants to spend Shabbat with me. Good job, everybody. Okay, we'll turn to the last blessing on page 299. Not the last, but the last one for today. And I like how the synagogue has changed the words to be more inclusive, right? Instead of you, it's all us. Yevarchenu, it's Yevarchenu Adonai v'yishmerenu. May God bless us and keep us. Ya'er Adonai panav eleinu v'chinuchenu. May God's face shine upon us and be gracious to us. Yisa Adonai panav eleinu v'yasem lanu shalom. May God lift up the divine presence toward us and always grant us peace. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Chitty, bitty, bitty, bim, bam. Bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please join us as first we have to say the Hamotzi. So we have some kids who want to come up here and help with the challah. They can help with the challah. It's a great onion challah. Hold on. Look at Adonai, Eloheinu Nachala, Hamotzi Lachenu Na'aretza. Say one quick blessing over the wine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei ha'agaf v'chayim. Please join us for Kiddush. Thanks to everybody at home for joining us today. And Onek in the back. Do-do-do-do. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. What's that? Oh, I'm Brian. Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom. You're welcome to come, but I can't pay you more. But I have to tell you, she is an amazing leader, and she really helps. They got all boys. Shai is stuck with all boys. What grade is it? Like fifth? Sixth and seventh. And she, by being there, they're respectful and not as rowdy. I mean, in the past that's been a problem, punching each other or, what boys will do. But Shai tells me every week how grateful he is to have her there. She's been a real tempering influence on an otherwise rowdy group. So they're learning instead of carousing. So you're awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. Was it? Oh, thanks. Oh, Brian. Hi. Are you the mom of this young lady? So. Don. Where are you from? Really? Well, I lived in East Brunswick when I raised my kids. Yeah, right off of Route 9, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, Route 9 and the Turnpike, exit 9 on the Turnpike. But North Brunswick was a nicer place. Yeah. Where'd you go to high school? Princeton? Oh, okay. So, there's a lot of people here from Princeton. Yes, I mean, oh, really? Well, what they did was all along Route 1, anybody who wants to have cachet to the name of their neighborhood calls it Princeton. Princeton Meadows, Princeton Junction, Princeton Rivers. Now, they're not in Princeton, they're in like Lawrenceville or Trenton or New Brunswick, but they call themselves Princeton to get that cachet of Oppenheimer and Einstein, and it's really, but I got a kick out of that. But I raised my kids in East Brunswick, so I slept in New York every day for 10 years. I got up the early bus. This is before we had laptops, so you're in the bus at 5:30, 6 o'clock. Take the bus to Jersey City, and then change to the PATH train, and then PATH train into the city, and then walk a mile to my office. I was at the World Trade Center station, got a big giant bagel and a schmear, and a cup of coffee. It was like $2 altogether. And then walk to my office, which is rain or shine. You could take a cab, but everybody else was trying to take a cab also. Right. So it was kind of an experience. I had a view, though. My office, the 33rd floor, third building away from the ferry. So you could see the ferries coming in and the Statue of Liberty. It was the same view that Working Girl, Melanie Griffith, had from her office. Yeah, New Jerusalem was the song by Carly Simon at the end. And I said, that's my view of my office. So I knew I really made it when I could afford to take my parents to Windows on the World for lunch. They came into the city, and I took them Windows on the World about 10 years before it didn't exist anymore. And that was such a thrill for me. I said, I've made it. I can buy my parents dinner at the top of the world, So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of course, the building is swaying in the wind. It was meant to sway a certain amount, and it was